Welcome students. In this topic, we will learn about corner joint on 10 mm thick MS plates in overhead position using SMAW process.
Objectives.
At the end of this topic, you will be able to select appropriate electrodes for tack welding and welding process. Tack weld. Prepare and set plates in corner joint in overhead position. Visually inspect the weldments. Now let us look at the tools required for corner joint on a 10 mm thick MS plate in overhead position by SMAW process. Steel rule, scriber, prick punch, ball peen hammer, flat file, bench vise, tri-square, tongs, chipping hammer, steel wire brush, electrode cable and earth cable, electrode holder, electrode, personal protective equipment, SMAW welding plant machine and their setup accessories, C-clamp. Now let us look at the pre-welding preparations for corner joint on a 10 mm thick MS plate in overhead position by SMAW process. Use personal protective equipment for safety purposes. Cut two 10 mm thick MS plates, 150 mm length by 50 mm width flat. Clean the surface and edges of the flat to be welded. Set the sheets in the form of a corner joint on the welding table. Set the pieces as corner joint with 2.5 mm root gap. Use a light welding cable to reduce the load on your arms. Fix the workpiece in the overhead position and adjust it to a suitable height. We have seen the pre-welding preparations. Now let us look at the welding process of the corner joint on a 10 mm thick MS plate in overhead position by SMAW process. Use a 3.15 mm MS electrode. And set a current of 100 amps. Use a light welding cable to reduce the load on your arms. Fix the workpieces in the overhead position and adjust it to a suitable height. The electrode should be kept as near as possible and square to the surface of the plate and to a small angle to the direction. Keep the electrode well up in the gap and control the keyhole to get a small reinforcement on the weld on the root side. Keep a short arc length. Control the slag and it must not drop into or flood the weld pool. Weld up to the end of the workpieces. Chip off the slag after cooling Clean with a wire brush. And inspect the weld. Select a 3.15 electrode. And set 110 amps current and use weaved beading technique. The electrode should be moved across the face of the weld. Do not deposit too much metal in the center of the bead, causing it to sag in the center. The side-to-side movement should be kept within the required weld size. Stop a while at the sides of the weld to prevent undercut. Chip off the slag. Clean using a wire brush. And inspect the weld. Now, we will look at the important points to follow for a corner joint on a 10 mm thick MS plate in overhead position by SMAW process. Wear safety apparels and welding goggles. Maintain uniform weld size and shape of bead. Blow holes. Uneven ripples. Undercut. Spatters. Recap.
In this topic, you have learned to prepare the plates, set the job as corner joint, weld the corner joint in overhead position, inspect and clean the weldments.